The equation editor gives us the ability to create equations based on variables and input values. Equations can use the results from one equation as their input values, and some very complicated dynamic values can be calculated. These values can then easily be linked to sketch dimensions. In this case here, I'm going to create a dimension from the far side of the part to the center line of the part and create a double dimension. I'm going to type in, instead of 10, I'm going to say equals, and define a global variable called L, and then I'm going to type in, yes, I want that to be 10, so I'm going to overwrite this value here, and click OK. Again, creating a global variable called L, and I'm giving it the value of 10. Now, instead of creating a new global variable, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually create a dimension from this side of the part to the center line, again with a double dimension. But instead of creating a new global variable, again, I'm going to hit equals. I'm going to go and grab one of those global variables I already created, which is L, and then I'll say, hey, this is divided by 2. So it's going to create a little equation there. And then go ahead and click OK, and click OK again. So now I have the same value I had last time, but this time I'm actually just using a formula to figure that value out. The neat thing about this is if I change one of these values, for instance, if I change this to 12, the other variable automatically updates because it's being equation driven from the original value. From here, you can continue on to add new equations or variables, or if you close this out, jump over here to equations, and you go to manage equations, you can see I already have my global variable here. It's equal to 12, and I have a couple other equations already predefined. At this point here, I could say, maybe I want to define a global variable called whole, and I want to make it derived from maybe a function of sine of 30 degrees, and I could maybe add 1 inch to it, and that will equate to 1.5, or whatever variables you wanted to use. It can do pretty complicated math here for you. You can create a really long string of wild equations, or you can even link those equations to other variables or other globals. Creating dynamic equation-driven models in SOLIDWORKS is easy, and it's a great tool to figure out complex shapes that would otherwise be very difficult to calculate or draw.